And what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Will Johnson, and I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad you are here with me. I'm glad we're here with each other. Do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up on YouTube and Rumble, and on Facebook, type in exclamation point notify, just like you see it right there. Exclamation point notify. Type it in just like you see it there. I would greatly appreciate it. Allow you to get notifications if you have not been getting them. It should turn them on for you. Okay, let's just get right into it because I have a lot to share with you this evening. It is Monday Fun Day. Monday Fun Day. It's a crazy day, right? It really is. So one of the things that I really want to get into and talk about this evening is Obama. Oh my goodness, Obama. Now, I did a short video earlier just on Facebook by itself, just a little quick thing talking about this. And I was like, okay, if more detail come out about it, I will share, but I'm actually going to share the article, what I was talking about it earlier. Michelle, Obama, right? Obama Hussein, he actually wrote this letter to one of his ex. He wrote this letter to one of his ex. And the information that's coming out about it is really bizarre. And I talked about it briefly, but before we get to that, I want to talk about some other stuff first. So please hold tight. I'm going to get to it because I have some more information on it I want to share with you. Some more information, you know, the Mile High Club even information. I'm just saying. But this first thing I want to talk about is Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he's going like this, you know, he's like going into the mud, and they all see that he's going to the mud, and it's really looking like they're getting ready to jump ship when it comes to Joe Biden. They already got the government state media already saying that Joe Biden is, you know, they're already pushing it out there that Joe Biden is not the answer. They're already pushing the idea that Joe Biden needs to be replaced. So the question is who do they replace Joe Biden with? Right? Who do they replace? Is it going to be gruesome Gavin Newsom, or is it going to be Michelle Obama? Right? Y'all leave me a comment. Leave me a comment in the comment section telling me, who do you think? Do you think it's going to be gruesome Gavin Newsom, or do you think it's going to be Michelle Obama? A lot of people say it's going to be Michelle Obama. Personally, I don't think it's going to be Michelle Obama, but you know what? Weirder things have happened in the past. I truly think it's going to be gruesome Newsom because he already has a war chest. And the last time I heard is $6 million in his war chest, which I've mentioned before. But let me get to this one because the media, they're already starting to turn on Joe Biden. They're already like, Joe Biden is not the answer. And the reason being that they're turning on Joe Biden is because so much dirt is coming out on Joe Biden. And it's not just dirt that they're just making up. It's not a fishing expedition. It's not like they were doing with President Trump. They were literally, and I'm going to give you an example here. The left was literally trying to, for example, this just an analogy here, saying that President Trump murdered somebody. This is what the left was doing. You know, the same thing with Russia collusion, delusion. So basically, they're saying that President Trump murdered somebody. And then you go, okay, well, who was murdered? The Democrats were like, well, we don't know who was murdered, but we know somebody was. We just need to keep looking until we find out. And then they go, well, is there a missing persons report? No, there's no missing persons report. We just know President Trump murdered somebody. We just need to find out who it is. And then they go, well, is there a murder weapon? Is there like a location where there's something tragic has happened? Nope, none of that. We just need to keep looking until we find something on President Trump because we know he murdered somebody somewhere. We just don't know about it. He did it somewhere. This is exactly how the left was operating. And even the government state media, knowing good and well, they were lying the entire time. Some of these liberal government state media got Nobel Peace Prizes for lying. For straight up lying about President Trump. Russia. Right? How does that happen? Because they were all in it together. They were all cahoots together trying to take down President Trump. And they're still trying to do that. But now they're starting to get to the point to where they feel that Biden is not strong enough. Biden was never strong enough to be in the first place, just to be, just to be straightforward here. But they're in a position now to where Joe Biden, because he can't complete a sentence, he doesn't know where he is half the times. When he's done saying his speech on stage, he looked at the people off stage and see the steps and like, do I go this way? And they're just like looking at him, I guess because you're not getting a response for him. So then he looks this way and he see there's no steps and there's no way to go down, and say, oh, so it must be this way. Like he didn't walk up on the stage in the first place. Like he completely forgot which way he came up on the stage. I mean, most of his speeches are less than 20 minutes. You mean to tell me he's sitting there talking and looking around at people and he can't remember what side of the stage he came on? This is a major problem. Back in the day when this happened with people running for political office, and if they couldn't remember something 15 minutes ago, I'm like, oh my goodness, he's not up to the snuff. He's not up to par. He's not on his A game. We can't go with him. Joe Biden has never been on his A game. Joe Biden's been in trouble for plagiarism. He's constantly done it in the past. 100% for plagiarism. And the government state media, they even actually called him out for it at one point. And they knew it was a problem then, but they all overlooked it. Why? Because they hate Trump more. That's the reason why they did it. They hate Trump more. Well, let me share this first one with you. This is them on the government state media because, Joe Biden's not doing good. Government state media is talking about Joe Biden, and they're really looking at the replacement. And if you have the government state media already starting to, talk about how bad Joe Biden is, you best believe there's going to be other Democrats in the party that's going to do the exact same thing. They may not say it publicly, but I'm telling you right now, behind closed doors, they're all saying we got to get rid of Joe. They're saying it.
And I want to say this about Democrats. It's really important. Joe Biden right now is down 7 points in the 4 swing states that will decide the next election. He has historically low approval numbers, Chuck. There are about 55% of Democrats would like to see an alternative. I can keep going down the list.
You see that? He's down. And this is on the liberal media news talking about this. Straight up. Well, let me share this one for you. This is Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. Now, is Chuck Todd still there, Shannon? Right? Because I was thinking that Chuck Todd was gone.
I guess he just doesn't have his show Meet the Press anymore.
But this says Meet the Press. Split screen it for me.
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah,
it's a little interesting, right? Because I thought Chuck Todd was like chucked out. I thought he checked him out. But I thought he was done. But he's talking about Hunter Biden. He's talking about all this current stuff. Maybe he just doesn't have maybe he's just not the everyday Meet the Press host. Maybe is that what it is? I don't know. But let's listen to him because he's talking about how bad it is. And maybe this was a couple weeks ago or right before they let him go. Maybe this is the reason why they let him go.
President Biden's handling of the case has raised questions at a time when voters already have doubts about his age and political standing. Biden brought his son to a state dinner just 2 days after the plea deal that has since collapsed was announced.
So this is recent. So he's still there, obviously, because the whole deal that Hunter Biden had collapsed just here recently. Remember, because they indict President Trump the day after. How could you forget?
And he has repeatedly defended him, denying wrongdoing altogether, even though Hunter Biden himself has pled guilty.
I'm confident. First of all, my son's done nothing wrong. I trust him. I have faith in him.
Thank you. Please, come on, thank you. Did you record?
You see this?
Come on, thank you.
President Biden.
He says he trusts Hunter Biden. He trusts Hunter Biden. Really? He trusts Hunter Biden. He trusts Hunter Biden to try to, I guess he was trusting Hunter Biden to keep his mouth shut, to keep the dirt from happening. But I guess that fell through because we all know about the dirt now. It's completely dirt what happened. Completely. Now, any other time when we go into, the season, the primary, general election, the election season, every time we go into it, there's this reoccurring thing that the Democrats will do. Do you know what that is? It's a reoccurring thing that happens all the time. What do you think that is? let me give you an example, or let me get right to what I'm trying to say here. Every time a Republican is running for political office, what's the reaction from those on the left? It's the exact same thing every time. He's racist. Knowing good and well President Trump wasn't racist, but he's racist. They do that every time, no matter what, just like clockwork. And they do that because they want to convince black people that don't know any better to stay on the Democrat plantation. And it's been working for many, many, many years. And it's still working today because there's a lot of black people out there that refuse to acknowledge the truth. They want to keep their eyes blinded and just say, nope, this is the route that I want to go. Because I guess they have this whole thing in the back of their mind that NASA will continue to protect them and, do for them. So they don't have to do anything. He'll take care of them. The government take care of me. Right? There's that thing in the back of their mind. It happens. It's true. They don't like me saying it. Well, then, prove me wrong. Do the opposite. But they don't want to do the opposite because they like the government taking care of them. But when you have, again, when you have the left every single time doing it, when it comes to season, they're always calling the person that they don't want to be in office racist. Just like clockwork. Well, look at this one. This is on the Communist News Network. You can't make it up. The Communist News Network, they're actually alluding to Joe Biden being racist. And it took them all of these years to figure it out. All of these years. But the real question is, why are they talking about Joe Biden in this manner? Right? Why are they talking about him? Because they want Joe Biden gone. I'm telling y'all, they want Joe Biden out. And when you have the government state media, they're going to end up putting pressure on these politicians that are supporting Joe when Joe got to go. Listen to this. This is on the Communist News Network. You can't make it up.
Exclusively obtained some letters written by Biden himself.
He strongly opposed mandatory school busing. It was designed to achieve integration and a more equitable education. On March 25th, 1977, Biden wrote, "My bill strikes at the heart of the injustice of court-ordered busing. It prohibits the federal courts from disrupting our educational system." Biden sought and received support from Mississippi Senator James Eastland, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee and a leading symbol of Southern resistance to desegregation. He frequently spoke of blacks as, quote, an inferior race. Eastland and others were partners on several of Biden's anti-busing bills. On June 30th, 1977, Biden wrote, "Dear Mr. Chairman, I want you to know that I very much appreciate your help during this week's committee meeting in attempting to bring my anti-busing legislation to a vote." Then in 1978, Biden again asked Eastland to put his anti-busing bill before the full Senate, writing, "Your participation in the floor debate would be welcome." Most busing programs in America were later abandoned after bringing more hardship than equal opportunity to all students. Ronnie Dunn is a professor at Cleveland State University who co-wrote the book Boycotts, Busing, and Beyond. He says Biden's opposition to busing is not disqualifying, but warrants explanation.
Those letters I find somewhat surprising given Senator Biden's or Vice President Biden's current position and potential candidacy for the presidency and his position as a liberal. Those are issues that he's obviously going to have to answer for. Well, the fact that he would solicit the support of staunch segregationists, James Eastland, as well as Jesse Helms, introducing legislation as opposing busing at that time.
Y'all remember during the primary in 2020 when Kamala Harris got on the debate stage and was saying that she was one of those kids that Joe Biden was being racist towards on the bus? Y'all remember that? Isn't it something that CNN is bringing this up now? Why wouldn't CNN air this report in 2019? Why did CNN sit on this? You mean to tell me that CNN just got wind that any of this happened with Joe Biden when it came to that? Joe Biden was 100% racist then. He's 100% racist now. The Communist News Network calling Joe out for his racism now of all times. What does this say? The government state media, they are turning on Joe Biden. And again, the reason why they're doing this, my opinion, is because of all this dirt, factual dirt that they have on the Biden crime family is very devastating. The Republicans are not going to let up. They don't need to let up. And of course, a lot of people are just like me, tired of them talking, going to action, bring the action, bring the pain, right? We're all tired of them talking. Let's go do something, right? With all that happening, they know that President Trump is going to return, and they don't like it. So that's the reason why they're going after President Trump, and they're trying to forget about, they want people to forget about Joe Biden, but they're throwing Joe Biden under the bus. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I just lost my train of thought there. Let me move on now. Here's another one I want to share with you. This is with them going after President Trump. And they're literally saying that President Trump committed crimes, right? They're saying this. But here on Face the Nation, this lady here is asking a question about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and the Biden crime family. And the guy over there is deflecting from all of it, saying that Weiss, right? Weiss had 5 years investigation and came up with nothing. 5 years. So you have members in Congress, in the House, within 6 months, show everybody the evidence that they have. Showed everybody, not all the evidence, but they've shown the world enough evidence that Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, the Biden crime family were involved in criminal activities. And of course, they're all ignoring it. Listen to this as this guy over here actually comes on there and tried to defend the fact that the Biden crime family has been a criminal organization, but trying to say that there's nothing there because Weiss never found anything in 5 years. And that's because the statute of limitation ran out. But watch this.
Within that plea memorandum that was released, it details a number of Hunter Biden's financial transactions. He was in the throes of addiction. He wasn't able to pay his taxes at that time, but he also had income from a Chinese business conglomerate, an infrastructure investment company, a Ukrainian energy company, a Romanian business. Is there any chance that any of this crossed a line?
If you say cross the line, here's again what we know. 5 years. Thorough investigation looking at the Chinese, the energy company, the other foreign businesses he did. That was not something that wasn't looked at. Think of it this way. What did this group of prosecutors who are Republicans appointed by Donald Trump,
See, right here, here it comes. And you know what? President Trump didn't know these people personally. He wasn't like sitting down with dinner and didn't have like, years and years of conversations with these people to know who they are, what they're all about. President Trump put a lot of these people in these positions because of the so-called guidance from others. Why do you think President Trump selected Mike Pence? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? There's only someone said, Mr. President, talking to President Trump, Mike Pence is really good because he's a Christian, he's a governor, he's already into politics, and the people will resonate with that. I'm telling you, without me being there, I'm telling you, that's exactly how it went down. And we know how it turned out with Judas Pence stabbing President Trump in the back. But see, President Trump knows the lay of the land. But these people, they were put in position because President Trump was taking the word from some of these people that were undermining President Trump the entire time. That's another reason why they don't want President Trump to return, because he knows now. He knows who he can trust. He knows they said, nope, you're fired. He's literally going to come back and say, you're fired to these people. We wanted him to say it his first term. But this next time he comes back, President Trump is going to say, you're fired. And that terrifies them. But listen to what he says here. Listen.
Group of prosecutors who are Republicans appointed by Donald Trump. What did they have as a motive to turn the other way to anything that they found that would have indicated wrongdoing against Hunter Biden? There was none. And that's what's missing in the equation. Everybody keeps yelling that this was some sort of deal that was too good. What's not too good, what it's about it is that it reflects the 5-year investigation. And no one has come up with a reason why anybody who was on the prosecution team would have gone easy on Hunter Biden if any of that you just set out had ever been the case.
You hearing this? He's talking about it was 5 years. You know, it was 5 years going on. And dude's a total weasel. There's a reason why Merrick Garland selected him again. After 5 years of doing investigation, he purposely allowed stuff to run out of statute of limitation, and we're supposed to act like it's nothing out of the ordinary. And now he puts him back in on top of the case as special counsel. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be another 5 years, and they're going to use the excuse. I haven't heard him say it yet, but they're going to use the excuse. Well, we can't discuss that because it's under investigation, like they do all the time. Every time. Listen to this with Comer. Comer actually brings it out. And again, I understand. And I'm with you. I'm tired of them talking. I'm tired of them talking about the corruption that's taking place. Stop talking about it and take some action. Listen.
Well, this is a joke. All that Merrick Garland did was validate the point that many Republicans have been making, that the Department of Justice was weaponized. Look, I've been very vocal in saying we didn't need a special counsel. I've been on the other side of a lot of my colleagues in the House. The one reason I would give for not wanting a special counsel was what we've seen. The fact that I have no confidence that Merrick Garland would appoint anyone credible. I never dreamed he would do as bad as he did with Weiss. Not only did Weiss drag his feet for 5 years and try to negotiate a sweetheart plea deal with the president's son, he also let the statute of limitations run out.
You hear this? So the last guy I just played for you on the government state media straight up said that it wasn't a sweetheart deal. It was just a deal. It wasn't a sweetheart deal. So for all of the crimes that they're about to discover from Hunter Biden, that he would have just been let go from it. How was that not a sweetheart deal? Think about this, everybody. You're under investigation for crimes that you've done in the past. Right? But then they're finding out about other crimes that you've done, but you'll be exempt from all of that. You'll get a slap on the wrist and all you have to do is say, oh, I won't do this anymore. You get a slap on the wrist. And then when they find out all of this other crime that you committed, well, I'm free and clear of it already. So basically you can go out and commit another crime and you're off limits. How is that not being above the law? When they constantly say no one is above the law, they're literally saying Hunter Biden is above the law. That's the sweetheart deal. No one else gets that. And then the left, then you have the left. They're constantly talking about injustice, right? The justice system is not fair. It's not fair to black people at all. It's only geared to help out white people. They're not saying that when it comes to Hunter Biden. They're not saying that at all. They're saying everything is fair. It's just the Republicans are just upset. There's not even a story here with the Hunter Biden. Okay, maybe he did something here and there, but it's a personal matter. That's what they say. It's a personal matter because he did all this corruption.
That was one of the biggest complaints from the IRS whistleblowers when they testified before the Oversight Committee, was their frustration that they knew they were coming up on a hard stop as far as trying to prosecute the president's son for obvious crimes of tax evasion and violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. But Weiss intentionally let the statute of limitations run out. We also learned in that testimony, Trey, that the IRS whistleblowers never knew about the 1023 form from the FBI that Bill Barr handed over to Weiss that alleged both Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were involved in a bribery scheme in Ukraine, even though Weiss knew the IRS was investigating suspicious wires from Ukraine. So we have no confidence in Weiss. We have no confidence in Merrick Garland. This will not deter our investigation. We're going to continue to move forward and try to present the American people with the truth about this family.
See, I think part of the reason why they haven't really gone into action because they're just trying to gather all the information and show it to everybody. I think that's their agenda here. That's the point. Get all the information, show it to the American people where the Democrats would never show it. And of course, all this corruption would never, ever, we knew the corruption was happening. How many of y'all didn't know the corruption was happening, right? I mean, we all knew it was happening. It's just now you have the Republicans actually sharing the truth about it all. The Republicans are sharing it. That's kind of like partially of what we wanted, because the Democrats, they'll never show this information. They were keeping this under wraps. Wouldn't that make them like an accessory to the crime? I mean, think about that for just a second. If you knew somebody committed a crime and you did everything you can to cover it up, to hide it, wouldn't that make you an accessory? Am I wrong in that, Shannon? Am I wrong in that? Wouldn't that make you an accessory? If I knew that you committed a crime and I didn't say anything, and then people were asking me, even the law, FBI, et cetera, well, in this case, the FBI was in on it too. But wouldn't that make me an accessory if I knew you committed a crime and I didn't tell anybody?
I would think so. I don't really know the law, but definitely if you witnessed something and you didn't say something, I don't know if they would say you're an accessory, but
I mean, no, if I'm not mistaken, because it's just like if you rob a bank, if someone robs a bank and they tell you to, you didn't even drop them off at the bank. They tell you to meet you at the bank at so-and-so time.
Oh, well, now.
No, wait a minute, listen.
Oh, sorry.
They tell you to meet you at the bank. You don't know what they're doing at the bank. You just say, let's meet me on the corner of such and such. And it happened to be a bank right there. You meet there at the time that you say you're going to, they meet you because they know that you're always on time, no matter what, because you're real stickler about being on time. And you're there at the exact time. They run and jump in the vehicle and you drive off. How do you think the police officers would treat you?
Well, it definitely wouldn't look good on you there, because you
it
can't
wouldn't
really
look
prove your
good on you.
innocence.
But when you have like the FBI known for a fact that the Biden crime family committed this crime and they looked the other way and they even helped cover it up.
Well, now they have evidence. So, yeah.
I mean, come on.
They're definitely an accessory because they're hiding the evidence. They know they have it and they're not providing it. And we've seen it time and time again. Or, just like we've seen these judiciary hearings, it came out one with Jim Jordan, where Jim Jordan literally showed that they'll say, yeah, we gave you the what you asked for, and it's completely redacted. Like Jim Jordan and them can't even read it because there's not a single sentence in there that they can read.
Yep.
These people are so corrupt. It's pathetic.
Yep, it is 100% pathetic.
And by the way, I want to thank JDWC003 on Rumble for the Rumble rant. Thanks.
Wow, awesome. I just saw that. Thank you so much for that blessing. Okay, now, Ohio. Let me share this one with you. Ohio. This is the Communist News Network, and I played a short clip on this before. The Communist News Network goes to Ohio, and they're trying to figure out, how is it that we lie about President Trump and you're still supporting him? How is it that we brought up
Russia?
And we told you that President Trump colluded with Putin.
Russia.
We told you over and over and over.
Russia.
We lied to you and told you that President Trump is racist.
Russia.
We told you that President Trump was destroying America.
Russia.
We lied to you, but you're still supporting him. Why are you still supporting President Trump when we lied to you? Why? So they go to Iowa to find out why. Look at this. Now, I played a short piece of this, but listen to some more of this, because they're asking about Ukraine even. Now, there's some rhino Republicans out there still wanting to throw money at Ukraine. And there's some people that call themselves Trump supporters that don't even know the difference on why we are even in Ukraine, but they still say we need to pour money into Ukraine. Some of these people are saying, nope, forget about Hawaii and pour money into Ukraine, which doesn't make a lick of sense. But listen to this.
Friends and family around the table don't watch and don't trust CNN. There is reverence for Ronald Reagan here. But listen.
The trust is gone.
Reagan's optimism replaced by Trump's grievances.
We got to find our own way to take care of ourselves.
Reagan's disdain of big government replaced by Trump's distrust of just about everything.
I think he thinks he was stolen from him.
Still questions about the 2020 election.
And I had a lot of people who agreed with him.
Criticism of the Trump prosecutions.
But nothing about that deal is the American way. I don't think.
And this. If you think the United States should be supporting Ukraine in the fight against Putin, raise your hand. Nobody.
You don't have to be that smart to connect the dots, right? And so is the war to cover up sins committed so you can cover your tracks? There's too much money that's been thrown over there.
You think all the NATO countries would do what Biden told them to do because he's trying to cover up some Hunter Biden business deal by...
It all depends on how Zelensky, how much dirt he has on Biden to keep the money coming.
Now you heard that. You heard that. This is very interesting, his response. And this is part of the reason why the government state media is turning on Joe Biden. His response alone says it all. I want y'all to hear that question one more time because he kind of tries to deflect from it. He kind of tries to deflect about the criminal activity and how corrupt Joe Biden is. Listen.
You think all the NATO countries would do what Biden told them to do because he's trying to cover up some Hunter Biden business deal by...
It all depends on how Zelensky, how much dirt he has on Biden to keep the money coming.
Now watch his response.
That's out there.
No, because
right? He goes, that's out there. That's out there. See, they know, but they've been covering for Joe Biden for the longest. They've been covering for him. And I'm telling y'all, they're getting ready to throw this dude completely under the bus. It's not looking good for Joe. And it's really not.
Well, how do you...
Now, listen to this last part. It's really interesting, this last part, because it's about free speech. And this guy, he straight up tells him. And if the Communist News Network, if they're truly about journalism, which they're not, but if they were, let's just pretend, if they were, then they would be upset with the government going to tech companies and silencing the American people, if they truly are. The reason why they're happy about the government going to the tech companies and silencing the American people, because people like Will Johnson and other people were getting more views than the Communist News Network. You understand that? That's the reason why they're happy with it. Like, shut them all down so people can just come to us and get the information. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be able to deceive people, but it got out of their hands. It's too far gone, right? That no longer would they be able to control the minds of people. And that's what they're really upset about. So they were happy with the government going in and doing censorship, violating the First Amendment, our constitutional rights.
How do you trust when you know the government has shut down Facebook and shut down Twitter and told them to not show certain news stories?
You see that? They shut them down and told them not to talk about certain news stories. You can't talk about that.
Russia,
they talked about that all day long because it was a lie. They were happy to talk about the fake dossier because it was a lie. That's the reason why. Which brings us to the main thing of tonight. One of the main things of tonight. And I talked about this briefly earlier I did a little short video just on Facebook talking about it. And I brought it up just a little bit. Obama is in the news. And I told people, I said, I'll have some more information about this when we get to my 7:00 show here. I want to share this with y'all. This is Obama out of the New York Post. You know, New York Post, to my understanding, they lean more right than, kind of center to the right, but they don't lean left. They center to the right. New York Times, total communist. They make up fake stories and tell everyone it's true, right? They've done it multiple times, like they did with President Trump on the front cover with the little kid. Totally false, but they wanted people to believe that was a real picture, knowing good and well it wasn't. But look at this headline here. Barack Hussein Obama. Make it full screen. Barack Obama told X, and I'm guessing here is his ex-girlfriend. He says, make love to men daily, but in the imagination. This is out of a letter from supposedly his ex-girlfriend, allegedly his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend, right? Supposedly. This came out. We actually have an article on this, and this is the article from the Washington Post. Can we put that on the screen? Let's put this on the screen.
Post.
What did I keep saying? Washington Post. I don't know why I keep saying Washington Post. I said New York Post a second ago because then I referred to New York Times. But it's the New York Times. Go ahead and put it up there. New York Times is where this information came from. And New York Times has been on the up and up. So I haven't seen the fake fact checkers come out there and say, oh, this is not true. Imagine how long people have known about this story. And be honest with you, I think Obama probably don't even care. He probably don't even care. At some point, the truth is going to come out. But listen to what's in this article.
Yep. It says former President Barack Obama wrote of his own androgynous mind and making love to men daily, but in the imagination, according to a redacted portion of a now notorious 1982 letter obtained by the Post. The more than 40-year-old letter to an ex-girlfriend recently resurfaced after Obama biographer David Garrow gave a long and winding interview on the one-time commander-in-chief. The letter said...
So they are, wait a minute. So they already knew about this letter years ago is what you're saying. Well, they knew about this.
I'm not sure.
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Just recently obtained, so
no,
I don't know.
Right, but they've known about it for a while, so...
Yeah, it says, in regard...
Go ahead.
Obama wrote, in regard to homosexuality, I must say that I believe this is an attempt to remove oneself from the present. A refusal, perhaps, to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You see, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. He wrote that when he was 21 years old.
That's crazy.
But it is worth noting.
It's crazy
that he is the president that ushered in.
Yep. When he was in office, that's when same-sex marriage came about through the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court can't make up laws, but they still pushed it through because they knew members of Congress would not push it. Well, right after Obama left the White House, he went on vacation in California for roughly around 2 weeks or so. But the real interesting thing is where he went on vacation. Where did he go on vacation? In California. Well, it's a location called Palm Desert. Palm Desert, correct, Shannon? It's a location called
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, right? It's like in the desert, right? And they're called Palm Springs.
Right.
Well, he went and vacationed there allegedly for about 2 weeks. And he was staying with two dudes that were married to each other.
Yep. So,
and the interesting thing is like, why wouldn't you go to Hawaii for 2 weeks after that? You're like, I'm done. Go to Hawaii for 2 weeks or even a month. Take time off. He didn't do that. He went to Palm Springs, California, to go hang out with two dudes that are married with one another. We have an article on that just to show this. And I remember looking at this. Look at this.
This is the regular news. Said that he was going to Palm Springs. It said in this that the Obamas will use the presidential plane to fly to Palm Springs, but it won't be referred to as Air Force One because the designation only applies when a current president is on board. Now, it says Obama, as it alluded to the fact that the whole family was going to be there, but that is not correct. Only Michelle and Obama went there. But like in this article, it says Obama's, and Will, you and I remember this very well, Obama's to vacation with gay couple James Costos and Michael Smith in the Palm Springs area. This is another article saying that they flew there and they stayed there for a couple weeks. Now, who are these guys? One was the outgoing ambassador to Spain. His name was James Costos. And they say his husband, Michael Smith, outgoing interior designer. So he left after Obama for the White House since 2008. Will host Obama's and the beginning of their family's civilian lives. Now, we know they stayed Well, actually, Obama stayed there for about 2 weeks.
And then Michelle Obama left, right? Because of I'm only assuming that Michelle Obama left because of the stench. I'm just saying.
So there was an ongoing relationship with these two.
I'm just saying. I'm trying not to be graphic here.
Yeah. So these are the two guys. This is James and Michael, and this is them on Air Force One.
Zesty.
With Obama when Obama was in office.
So wait a minute. So Obama had them on Air Force One with him.
Right.
Does this take the Mile High Club to a different level? I'm just saying. I don't know. What do y'all think? Does this take it? Maybe since there's two of them, is the 2 Mile High Club.
Now you can see this is Michael's Instagram here. He posted the picture. Now it says that Michelle Obama left. It said, why did Michelle? It says shortly after arriving, Michelle then took a private-owned jet by billionaire Richard Branson to his private islands in the Bahamas. Why Obama stayed there. Now,
and to my understanding, during that time, she had to ask somebody else to send a private plane.
Well,
she reached out to a billionaire to ask him, say, hey, can you fly me out of here because of, I can't.
At the time,
I can't stand the smell.
Right. At the time, stop. There was, curious, why did Michelle leave, And
he stayed.
He did. And
he stayed.
He did end up joining her in the Bahamas, though.
So maybe that was one of his dreams of being right after that, look what happened here. I'm going to go ahead and just do my thing now.
I don't know.
Could that be it?
You know what?
Could that be it? I mean, because if he wrote that in his love letter.
Yeah.
Gene says, stop, Will. Laugh out loud. Come on, you thinking it too. I didn't. I've just alluded to it. I didn't even come out and say it. It's crazy. And you know what? I talked about this earlier. They went after President Trump because of the Hollywood sex tape. And if President Trump was talking about grabbing a man, they would be, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. He's so brave. He's so brave. Am I wrong? Think about it. But here it is. President Trump said he grabbed the woman. And the only reason why they showed it, because they get us, and I've said this so many times, to get you and I to not support him because we're Christians. When we already knew that President Trump was a billionaire playboy. And I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't support Trump because he was an angel, because he's not. I voted for him because I wanted what he was pushing. I wanted what he was pushing. So did you. And that's part of the reason why they don't like the fact that we as Christians were still supporting President Trump after they put out all of these lies about President Trump, and we're still supporting him. It's like they can't grasp it. Okay. We're going to do this. If you're watching on Facebook and if you haven't already, please type in !notify. So then that way it will turn on notifications for you. !notify on Facebook. And please, on YouTube, hit the thumbs up and share the video, as well as on Rumble. I'm getting ready to end it here on YouTube and Facebook. And please, I'm going to ask everyone right now to join me over on Rumble, because there's a few things that I want to share with you on Rumble that I can't share on these other ones because they can't handle the truth. I mean, it is what it is. So I want to say thank you, everybody. You can see it right there. Go to uaf.media. And just click on Watch Live on Rumble. You'll see it. It's a little, my producer, she made it really awesome, made it really easy. Just click on the one, go live on Rumble. You'll see it there on Rumble. Or you can go to rumble.com/Will Johnson/live, and it'll take you right to it.
Okay, let's say thank you to a few people on Facebook for Facebook stars. Let's thank Rodney, Ruby, Ann, Sherry, Kathy, Wendy, Michaels, and that's it. Thank you.
And let me say thank you to, I guess I'm just going to say Robert on Rumble here, because Robert on Rumble says, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Robert says, Will, he goes, I support you monthly on locals for like $10 a month. And I said, thank you for the blessings. And he says, I apologize. I can't do more. Oh, my goodness. There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, never. We appreciate it.
I mean, I am being so serious about that. You know what? That is such a blessing. I can't tell you how much that is a blessing. So there's no need to apologize. If you were doing $5, that would still be a need for you to apologize, right? It would not be a need at all for you to apologize. You blessing me. I see that a blessing from God.
So
and
we're
to
going to
use
end
you.
Facebook and YouTube. For those of you that are not going over to us with Rumble, thank you very much.
We'll see you tomorrow here. We'll see you tomorrow. So come on over to Rumble. Come on over to Rumble. Let's go. Let's go Rumble. Because I got some stuff I want to share with you. Ooh, wait. Yes, I do. Okay.